Very, 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 very X-Facted greetings to the X-Facted family. My name is Bliss Sibiya and I am the founder of X-Facted Youth International, a company that aims to build high-performance youth across the continent. We build youth to what we call the X Factor. Now, when we speak about the X Factor or the X-Facted youth, we speak about a youth who aims to be excellent, youth who aims to be extraordinary, a youth who exceeds expectations, a youth who executes effectively and is willing to go the extra mile. I want to talk about 4 Jewish words that shape the Jewish construct that I believe every African or every young person should learn. Why? Because Jews have had this ability to turn something from nothing. Israel in itself is a country based on strong Jewish principles. Israel is a country with more startups outside of Silicon Valley. In fact, Israel itself is considered a startup nation, built by Jews for Jews. Now let's give us another reason as to why we should focus on the Jewish principles or Jewish words. If you look at businesses such as Starbucks, Levi's, Investec, Discovery, Google, Facebook, these are all businesses that are owned by Jews or managed by Jews or founded by Jews. If you look at Nobel Prize winners or Nobel laureates, more than 80% of the winners or the people who have been awarded are Jews. And these awards are categorized in the science, economics, and history. So it is easy to say that Jews have the juice. And these words seem to be the core of what makes them these particular individuals. It's not unique to find a Jew that is wealthy, for example. There's no such thing as a poor Jew. And these stigmas, this branding, this Jewish labeling, there seems to be a reason for it. Seems to be a fascinating reason as to why businesses that are managed by Jews or owned by Jews tend to last longer and tend to be more prosperous. So I've done research and I've found particular words or particular phrases that come from the Hebrew language, and Hebrew is spoken by Jews. And these words have, from what I believe, shaped how Jews view the world and how they engage with the world. So the first word that I'm going to speak about is chutzpah. Now, chutzpah, if you translate it into a Bantu language such as Zulu, it's bind. It's having the guts. It's doing what nobody else is willing to do. It's what we call bravery. It's what we call cheek. We also say it's nenkani. It's being stubborn, being persistent in ensuring that, you got to do what you got to do. And Jewish people have seemed to take that in everything. The cheek, the nerve that they have, their ballsy behavior, their ballsy demeanor, their gutsy, way of engaging with the world. It seems to have paid off. Because if you look at it across the board, Jewish people have this ability to just do what needs to be done, by any means necessary. And if you look at it globally, if you look at it in a local perspective, these people, these individuals, these Jewish communities, they all have this, we got to do what we got to do mentality. So the first one is chutzpah. And I would like to encourage every youth out there to have this chutzpah, have the stubbornness, have the persistence, obviously channel it towards the right things, such as building economic wealth or ensuring that our communities are prosperous rather than, organizing strikes, for example. Let's adopt the chutzpah spirit where we have the ability to just do what needs to be done by any means necessary, especially when it comes to building our societies for the better. The second Hebrew word is Rosh Gadol. Rosh Gadol is essentially taking initiative and doing it the best way possible. So as I mentioned before, one of the principles of the X-Facted youth is to go the extra mile. If we were to put it into Hebrew terms, it is exactly this, Rosh Gadol, doing whatever it takes exceeding expectations, going the extra mile for whatever task or whatever project that there is. So if you put it in school, whether it's an assignment that you're doing or whether it's a role that you are given at a job, you need to ensure that you do it the best way possible. You want to be excellent at whatever it is. You don't want people to second guess or to question what it is that you are doing or if you are capable of doing it. Because we want a new society where everything is based on meritocracy, not nepotism, not favoritism. If you are good at what you do, you need to be put in a position. If you are a good leader, you need to be put in that position, not because you are popular, but because you are good at leading. The third one is bitsao. Now, bitsao is essentially being resourceful when getting things done. So in life, they say if you have lemons, you got to make lemonade. So given the resources that you have, you need to have bitsao. You need to have the ability to be resourceful, ensuring that you are essentially a MacGyver. Whatever resource you have, you turn it into a gadget, or you turn the worst into the best of situations, because it's something that needs to be done. Now, what we essentially do in the societies that we have is we tend to complain, we tend to whine, and we forget that with the resources that we have, we do have an ability to do something. There's something that we can achieve, even if it's the little, with whatever we have. Because essentially, even if you're starting a business, you start with little and then you acquire more. But we need to get things done with the little that we have. The fourth one and final one. Now, there are many Jewish words and Jewish phrases, but these particular four are the ones that I believe we should learn for starters. We always have this grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. Consider this grade 1. So the fourth word is davga. Davga. Now, davga is essentially doing things despite the situation and getting on with it. So rather than whining, we need to accept situations and just get on with it. We need to tell ourselves that there's no Messiah, there's no Jesus that is going to come save us. We need to pull our socks up, we need to roll up our sleeves and get things done. Now, if you hear these four words, chutzpah, rosh gadol, bitsao, davka, and you put it into the Israel term, and you look at the history of Israel, how Israel came to being, and how Israel changed from a desert country to a startup metropolis, as a startup nation, it was built on chutzpah. Doing things that people are not willing to do. Taking initiative and doing it the best way possible. Being resourceful and getting things done. Doing things despite the situation and getting on with it. These are pillars that I feel as youth we should take and adopt, and not be a complaining nation or a complaining generation. We just need to roll up our sleeves. And essentially, that is what I want us to be known for. I personally want every generation that comes after us or came before us to say that, okay, the Generation Z generation, or the millennials, they are the generation that actually rolls up their sleeves and gets things done no matter what. Love them or hate them, they are not lazy. They get things done. Just these four words have shaped a whole community, a whole nation, a whole religion, a whole culture. Chutzpah, rosh gadol, bitsao, davka. It's a fascinating story. I've personally, as an author of a book called Black Body Jewish Mind, I always get fascinated by Israel and the Jews, because in their minority, considering what history they've come from, in their minority, as a collective, they have vast amounts of wealth. You see Jews in real estate, you see Jews in financing and banking, you see Jews in medicine and sciences, you see Jews in economics. And you ask yourself, is this all intentional? What gives these people, what are their foundations? And I feel like we've spoken about some today. There might be more, but we're just touching the surface. But having these 4 themes, or these 4 topics, or these 4 characters, if you will, they've shaped the whole nation. And with this, I want to inspire people. I want to inspire the youth. I want to inspire the X-Factored youth from all crosses of life, all walks of life. I want us to get used to these words, adopt the Jewish mindset when it comes to tackling situations, tackling scenarios, and always remember that we need to have chutzpah, we need to have rosh gadol, we need to have bitzau, we need to have tafka in any situation. Ladies and gentlemen, X-Factored Youth, my name is Bliss Sibiya, the founder of X-Factored Youth International. I hope that you take these lessons, you take these words, you adopt a different type of strategy when you look at life and just get things done. And when you get things done, do it the best way possible. At X-Factored Youth, we encourage people to exceed expectations, to be excellent, to go the extra mile, to execute. We want you, as the young person of the next generation of leaders, to have that X factor that nobody can argue, but just admit that you are the best of the best. And the best way to do that is to learn from other people, learn from people that came before us, learn from people who are around us, and ensure that we soak up as much knowledge. Good knowledge, bad knowledge, good information, bad information. Soak it up, and you make the decision on what you wish to adopt and adapt to, and what you wish to erase. But the goal is to be the best of the best. That was X-Factored Youth. That is what X-Factored Youth is all about. So I wish you well in your endeavors, and I hope that you continue to follow the X-Factored Youth, follow X-Factored Youth International, and to also take part in our programs that we have from time to time. We have a lot of programs as X-Factored Youth in different faculties and different set of development programs, that focus on skills, they focus on leadership, they focus on life. We really want you, if you haven't been a part of it, we really wish for you to be a part of the X-Factor programs and just see what crazy stuff youth are doing. Because at the end of the day, we want our youth to be high-performing youth. We want our youth to be leaders, to take up space, and to get the job done in the best way possible. Ladies and gentlemen, Bliss Sibiya, X-Factored Youth International. Have a good one.